Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michel Botman, and I just want to welcome you all for this new OTF Connects presentation titled Integrating Minecraft and MakeCode Builder into your math program. And our facilitator today is Andy Forgrave. And it's hard to believe, but that's already the last session of our series of 6 coding webinars. And I must say that they have all been extremely well received, and we have had some record attendance in the last 6 weeks. And I, of course, want to thank you all for having participated in the last 6 weeks, despite the understandable Zoom fatigue that we are all experiencing. And I noticed already 20 people in the room and some familiar name again. So it's always nice to see you coming back. And also I want to welcome those of you who are joining us on OTF Connects for the first time. As I mentioned, it's the last webinar of a series of 6 coding webinars. And it is also the last OTF Connect session of the school year. So there's a taste of school holidays already in the air. And we don't have usually any OTF Connects webinars in June and in September. So this is going to be the last one of the season, but we are also running, OTF is also going to be running summer institutes in August, and we have a dozen summer institute that are planned for August, and actually I believe that Andy is going to participate in that program as well. And so I invite you obviously to join us to go to the OTF website, see what we have on the stove for you guys for August, and then to register yourselves. And we have 114 teachers who have registered. We are 22 in the class for the moment, so I'm expecting a few more. Before I start, I just want to read a quick land acknowledgement that OTF is asking us to read. We acknowledge that we are gathered in the territories of various indigenous people, and we further recognize their stewardship of these lands in which we live, learn, work, and play. And we are delighted and thrilled to have each and every one of you with us today. And we are also really happy to have Andy Forgrave joining us. And Andy is an Ontario educator, a long-standing advocate for education technology, and he has served on the ECOO board of directors in a number of capacities over the past decade. And I think he's the treasurer for the moment of that organization. So we have 24 people. I can hear the little chime as people are joining. So I know that lots of people are joining right now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Andy is going to join in, and we're going to start the presentation now in a few seconds. Okay.
Excellent. Merci, Michel.
No, avec plaisir, Andy.
I'm just doing the find my screen share thing.
Yep, no problem. Take your time. We're still seeing people joining. Yeah, okay, I can see your screen.
Okay, so we should be able to see I can see the screen. I can't see any of you. And I will just share with you that on March 14th, a year and a bit ago, I got pulled into doing coding webinars all the way through the spring. And the very first day we went out, I, as a classroom teacher, really struggled with the fact that I couldn't see my class. I couldn't see if they were paying attention. I couldn't see who had questions. And I'm struggling with that right now. So I will keep an eye on the chat up there if I can, and Michelle can keep an eye on the chat. And I will maybe need a little bit of direction if I'm going too fast or if you have questions. So please post a message in the chat if you have a question, or I can't see the hands. Oh, maybe you can. Can everyone just put up their hands? Do you know how to do the put up the hand thing?
Yeah.
There, excellent. Okay, excellent. All right, good. I'm going to make you guys all big.
Okay, so it's great that you can see them.
Yeah,
And then
that's good.
if you want to invite someone to jump in, Andy, you can ask them to raise their hand first, and then you can tell them to unmute themselves.
So we've got Nancy, Christine, Margit. They're moving around so quickly. Jennifer, Joan, Paul. Okay. So my name is Andy Forgrave. I am a retired educator now as of June 2019. I left the classroom after 30 years plus some non-school teaching experience prior to that. I haven't really started to retire yet. I'm wrestling with the whole shift from work to retirement, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so that's good. As Michelle mentioned, I'm on the ECOO board of directors, and that's how I got involved in this. We will likely have a couple of other ECOO members doing the presentation, doing the Summer Institute during the summer. But I would like to mention that we are having an ECOO camp August 18th and 19th, so we'll have a 2-day conference then. And the Bring It Together conference will also be coming back virtually in November. We're just firming up the dates on that. I learned Minecraft from my sons. They were probably 10, 11, something like that. We went to the first Ed Camp Toronto. I took them with me. And the next thing I knew, they were answering questions for all the teachers there. Someone posted on Twitter, we're learning about Minecraft from the experts. And Liam O'Donnell said, experts, who are the experts? And I said, oh, it's my sons. And so that's how I got connected with the gaming EDUs. Liam O'Donnell, Diana Melizowski, Jen Apgar, Denise Colby. Most of them are out of Toronto. And my Minecraft name is Gumby Blockhead. So gumbyblockhead.com is my Minecraft website where I share things. I may share a little bit more about me just through the nature of conversation during the session, but I would like to find a little bit out about the audience here today that maybe will help steer the direction we take. So there's a bit.ly there, and I should probably go and find it so that I can see the results as they come in. And welcome to everyone who's coming in.
Yes, we've reached 30 people in the class already, so that's already a very good number. And I think we're going to get a few more in the next few minutes.
Now I'm sitting here looking, saying, nobody's responding, but it's because they're responding. They're actually working their way through the questions. So.
And
thank
you. I just want to thank Leanne for posting the link in the chat box. Thanks so much, Leanne.
One of the questions that I didn't put in the survey, I will ask once you're done so that I don't confuse you. An answer, okay.
And Andy, just to ask you next, if you have more links during your presentation, put them into the chat box directly. That will be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
I think I sent you an email within the last 5 minutes, so I don't know if you can access that.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
No, I didn't get it. No, sorry, I didn't get it. It's a previous email. I don't have your last one, but it's okay. I mean, if you can just put them into the chat box, don't you know? It's
Michelle Botman, BOTMAN @gmail.
yeah. For some reason, I didn't. I got an email from you, which is the one when you say that you were joining Zoom in a few seconds, but I didn't get any additional email after that.
Okay, so early results. I don't know if we should skew the results by releasing the results, but 2/3 of our audience today know children who play Minecraft. And so, I mean, oh, that's just increased. And that's how I learned. I learned by playing with my sons. We started on iPads. I went to school one day and I saw some kids playing Minecraft on a computer. And I was like, oh, it's a lot easier to play on a computer. And the rest, as they say, is history. But it was the fact that kids at school knew this game, they loved this game. I had learned something about the game from my sons, and I would have kids that, you know, they weren't in my class, they weren't even in my hall of the school. They would come up to me and say, Mr. Forgrave, do you play Minecraft? And I was like, yeah, I do. And we had something in common that we could talk about. And out of anything I've ever experienced over my whole teaching career, Minecraft is probably the thing that built bridges with kids more quickly than anything else. Okay, so we've had about 18 people, which is probably over half of our group. So maybe I'll just share this, the results, in case people are interested. There, I mean, can you see them? I've just dragged the window onto my other window.
Yes, we can see. I don't know if everybody can read it, so maybe you can read the results because it's a bit small, but we can see the pie charts.
So the big chunk of the pie is educators who know children who play Minecraft. We have 16% who have dabbled. We have one person who has had students use Minecraft in their class. Somebody has created their own lessons. A couple of people have done that. And so we have a majority of people who I would say are new to Minecraft, which is good for me to know because I will need to ask you to tell me if I'm going too fast. Choose the sentence that best describes your familiarity with block-based coding. Almost half have explored block-based coding. About half are new to block-based coding, but they're eager to learn. And then we have some people who have used block-based coding with their students, and we have one person who uses a microbit as a remote control to run their Scratch-powered weather station and flip their toast. So we have at least one person out there who is at the cutting edge. Scratch is the predominant block-based coding experience that people have had. We have Scratch. Microbit didn't allow me to pick two. I must have set up the survey incorrectly. And Microbit. So mostly Scratch, a little bit of Microbit, and Scratch and Microbit. So block-based coding with Minecraft is virtually the same conceptually. It just has some different names on some of the blocks. So with the Microbit, you have blocks that let you deal with the little pins and so on. With Scratch, you have blocks that deal with the sprites. And with Minecraft, we have blocks that deal with the world of Minecraft. We have some people who have done Hour of Code, but not a lot of people. So that's good because we're going to start and take a look at a Minecraft Hour of Code lesson. And we have in our K-8 session, mostly K-8 educators, but we have some secondary people as well, including a principal and an OT. Welcome. I hope everyone finds this session informative and valuable. So thank you for that input. Just take a quick look at the specific questions. Math curriculum links to Minecraft. Do they need to have a Microsoft account? Good. Eager to learn, eager to learn. Give me ideas, expertise, new ways to make math fun for kids, broaden my knowledge. Okay, I think we are on track then with what we have planned for the afternoon to meet the needs of our audience. And so without further ado, let us take a quick look at an outline. So the first thing I want us to do is get kind of a base level understanding of Minecraft, and recognizing that a large number of us are relatively new to Minecraft, and everyone is going to be new to block-based coding in Minecraft. Then it's good for us to have a warm-up. I'm in a moment going to have you watch a couple of videos that are about one of the Hour of Code lessons that students can explore in Minecraft Education Edition. So they actually do the Hour of Code activity in Minecraft using the MakeCode Codebuilder. So it will give us a chance to see some things that are familiar if we've done Scratch or we've done Blockly or we've done MakeCode. And it will also give us a sense of how things work in Minecraft for those people who are new. Then we're going to take a quick look at what the new, as of last September, grade 1 to 8 coding expectations say for math. And then we're going to take a look at some existing Minecraft code builder activities. So people are asking for things that they can go and basically connect to their students or connect to their math class. So we're going to take a look at some things that already exist. We'll spend a little bit of time unpacking them, and I'll explain that in a little bit more greater detail, because there's a lot of stuff out there, but you want to be able to find something that's appropriate for your students. And with the grade 1 to 8 expectations the way they are, that can sometimes be a little interesting. Then we'll have a chance to go a little bit deeper, and this is probably where you will want to tell me if I'm going too fast or if you have questions. So maybe at that point, there have been times when I've been comfortable with everyone to have their mic on. So if you have a question, you can just kind of jump in. So we might do that at that point, because if you have questions, I want to answer them as we go. And what we want to be able to do is have kids practice coding skills in a known context. So if kids know Minecraft before they even come into your classroom, that's a context which we can have them, and they like it, we can have them practice the computational thinking skills that we want them to be able to transfer out into the real world, but have them practice it in a context of Minecraft that they are comfortable with. And we'll mention about the fact that there's this continuum and kids may be at various points along the continuum. Then I will share some examples and resources, and then we'll have questions. And then if there's any interest in continuing to have a conversation after this day, maybe we can make some arrangements for that. So can I just get a thumbs up if that sounds like something you might be happy to spend the next hour and 10 minutes doing? I see 2, 3 thumbs. Oh, almost half thumbs. So that's, I will take that as a yes, and we will move on. Thank you. Alrighty, so I will put the link in the chat in case you want to watch this on your own. But Michelle was telling me that I should, and we practiced a little bit, I should be able to play it through Zoom. So just on the off chance that you lose the connection or the sound doesn't work, here's the link. But this is a short little promotional video from Microsoft about this Hour of Code lesson that we're going to take a look at.
What if we could build a better world through code? Together, we believe we can. Download Minecraft Education Edition and help us bring 2 villages together through the power of code. You will experience empathy and compassion for your neighbor, while embracing the diversity that makes us all uniquely special. And it doesn't matter if you're new to coding or to Minecraft. It's easy to get started with blocks or text. But there's no limit to what you can do. Start the Minecraft Hour of Code for free today.
So that's just a little Microsoft promo about the 2020 Minecraft Education Edition Hour of Code activity. I don't know if you remember sea monkeys. You used to be able to buy sea monkeys in the back of comic books. There was this fine print that used to say, illustration is fanciful, because the brine shrimp that you would get if you ordered did not have little crowns and everything on them. This is an illustration is fanciful video because it's kind of a cartoonized version of what Minecraft looks like. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, because what we're going to see in this next video actually has screenshots from the game, and it talks a little bit about the projects that occur in the Hour of Code activity. And we're going to be looking at those and talking about how they're appropriate and what kinds of coding skills they draw upon. Can I do this with a Mac teacher computer and a class of Chromebooks? That's an excellent question. As long as your computer and the Chromebooks can connect to each other on your school network, then the answer should be yes. You need to make sure you have the same version of Education Edition on all the computers. Ask me about that one day. Who knew that you could have 4 different versions of Windows within the same classroom, and that could become a thing. Excellent, excellent. So, and this is new as of last summer. You can play Minecraft on the newer Chromebooks. They will run, as long as you can access the Google Play Store, you can download Education Edition. So this video is about 5 minutes long, and it gives you a sense of the lesson, because I don't want us to actually play the lesson right now, but you can go and explore this on your own.
Welcome to this year's Hour of Code lesson, a Minecraft tale of 2 villages. In this adventure, you'll bring 2 villages together through code. You can choose to code in blocks with MakeCode or in text with Python. Let's get started. First, download the latest version of Minecraft Education Edition. Check out the website for a downloadable facilitator guide, answer keys, and more. Go ahead and sign in if you have an Office or Microsoft 365 for Education account. Click Play, and then View Library. Click Lessons, then Computer Science, and Hour of Code. Choose the 2020 lesson and click Create World. If you don't have the license, you can still do the lesson. Open Minecraft Education Edition, choose the demo path, accept the terms, and click Play. Click Start Lesson. Choose Hour of Code 2020 and click Create World to begin. In this world, the villagers and the illagers share the same space, but they seldom interact with each other. Your job is to bring the 2 villages together, to learn from each other, and appreciate each other too. Start your journey at the castle by learning to move using the keyboard and mouse, or touch commands. Press W to move forward. When you see an NPC or non-player character, like this fella, right-click to read what they have to say. For help with reading in other languages, click on the book icon to open Immersive Reader. Your onboarding activities will help you decide which coding language to use, either MakeCode blocks or Python. If you are a beginner, we recommend you start with blocks. If you're up for the extra challenge, go ahead and select Python. You can play all the activities twice, in blocks and in Python. The first activity is to move the agent, your coding helper. Move the agent forward just enough so that it can stand on the gold block. To start coding, press C or tap the agent icon at the top of the screen if you're using touch. If you're playing on an iPad, check out the lesson plan for details on how to navigate Minecraft using touch. Remember to drag and drop blocks and press play when ready to run your code. Let's see what this activity would look like in Python. Press C and you will see the Python coding editor. Remember that in Python, you will need to type. Be careful when typing. If you make a spelling or syntax mistake, the code won't run. Look carefully at the examples that are given to you. When ready, run your code. The agent has given you a gift. Plant your sapling with code and it will grow as you complete the challenges in the villages. Check back and see your progress after each challenge. Now let's go find the other challenges. Move towards the doors and into the village. Make sure you read the signs and go visit either villagers or illagers. It doesn't matter where you go first. It is your journey. Now that you are in the village, you will see a lot of characters that you can talk to. Each village has different characters that prompt conversations about equity and inclusion. Find the characters that have a yellow question mark above their heads to check out the coding challenges. To talk to the characters, approach them and right-click. Read the task and then decide if you accept it or do it later. You are given a communicator that lets you teleport around the map or reset the challenge, quit, or get a hint. To use a communicator, make sure you select it by pressing 1 on the keyboard and right-clicking if you're on a PC. If you're on a touch device, just touch the hotbar. Let's do Protect the Beet Farm Challenge. Villagers think the illagers' pet ravagers are stealing beets from their farm, and they want you to build a fence to protect the beets. To start coding, press C. Drag and drop the blocks to make sure that the agent can place the fence all around the farm. If you need to start over, you can reset the activity without losing any of your existing code. If you need a hint, use your communicator or talk to the NPC. You'll learn the importance of not making assumptions about people or situations without having all the facts. Maybe these ravagers weren't the culprits after all. Now you can go and check out how your tree is growing back in the castle. Now let's continue to the illager's side by crossing the bridge. We'll show you this challenge in Python, but if you want to switch back and forth between languages in your lesson, you'll need to start over. In this challenge, you will code the agent to prepare the soil so that the villagers can teach illagers how to farm. In this activity, you can try and use loops in Python. Make sure you look at the example in your coding editor. Let's see what other challenges are here. You can help the villagers get up this big hill to visit their new friends. Here, you'll show the villagers that ravagers just look scary but are actually nice animals. Build a dock so that the illagers can teach villagers how to fish. And in this activity, you'll help fix the witch's elevator. Remember that each challenge can be solved in a multitude of ways. If you are stuck, check out the answer keys on the website. When you are done with all 6 challenges, don't forget to check on your tree. It has grown significantly. Whenever you are done, press Escape to exit the lesson, and then click the I'm Finished button. This will allow you to collect your Hour of Code certificate. We encourage you to try all the activities in blocks and Python. To succeed, you'll need to experience empathy and compassion for your neighbors, and learn about cooperation and inclusion. These values are as important in life as they are in coding. Start your Hour of Code today.
Okay, now I'm assuming that everyone saw that and that you're now ready to continue. And I see Michelle is back. Hello, Michelle.
Yes, I can give you all a quick explanation. We have a tenant, and she broke the handle of her bathtub, and the water is running. She could not stop the water running, so I had to quickly go to the water main and shut down the water main. And now I'm going to have to find a plumber. But anyway, that's the story. Sorry.
You're good for now.
I'm good for now. Yeah.
Okay. So there was a lot of stuff in that video, and some of it may be new to you. So what I'd like to do is try and make some connections, and maybe we'll go into Minecraft and just do 1 or 2 of those activities so that people can see how you move around in Minecraft and how you also connect Minecraft to the code builder, the MakeCode interface. If you're familiar with Seymour Papert, who is kind of like the grandfather of educational coding for kids, some of his early research was done with a turtle, which was kind of a robot connected to a big computer with wires, and it would move around on the floor and it would draw pictures. And you could tell the computer to lift up the pen or put down the pen or change the pen color. If that is in any way familiar to you, then the agent that we see here on the screen right now is kind of like the Minecraft turtle. He's the physical representation out there that's not you, that you actually program to do what you want to have happen. So he's your helper. The agent does not exist in any other versions of Minecraft, like the Java version or the Xbox version. He only exists in the Education Edition version. And you know, he's kind of cute, so kids like him for that reason. Here is this is the very first command that you actually may have seen in the video. And you're familiar with a start or a play button. Normally green is the color for the control blocks. And the first thing we need to do in the game is have the agent move forward onto the gold block. And so I'm just going to quickly step through a couple of the first code challenges, because they're not very difficult. And then I'll switch over and we'll go into the world, and I'll just show you how you can get into the hour of code lesson, and we'll do a little bit there. So the first thing you need to do is move him forward, and once you've done that, then he requires you to create a command so that he can give you a gift. And then when he gives you the gift, it's actually this sapling for this tree that you plant in the center of the two villages. And over the course of the challenge, as you're helping out the two villages and helping them come together, the tree in the middle grows. So there's a real social message that has been built into this particular activity, in addition to the coding and in addition to the Minecraft. So I'm going to switch over now to my Minecraft screen. And if people can just give me a thumbs up if you can see, you should be able to see my Gumby character over here on my right-hand side. There's the play button, which is how you get in. This is the main menu. There are some settings that I will talk about in a minute. If you start to hear cows or rain or background noises that make it difficult for you to hear, remind me and I will turn off the game sounds. Over here is a coat hanger, and the coat hanger is a feature that lets students choose what they want to look like in the game. And this is a whole sideline for Minecraft. You can do art activities where the kids create their own skins, as they're called, and you can build little 3D nets, little figures, and so on. So I have done whole lessons just related to how you look in Minecraft. So this gives the kids lots of different options to choose something personal. And once that's done, then we go in and we have a couple different places that we can go. There is a whole library of Minecraft worlds. And so when people were asking about, things that they could start with, there are many, many, many different world files. And all you need to do is choose one that you like, you click on it, it gets downloaded into your computer, and then you kind of work through whatever it's been designed to do. You have your own space where you have your world. You can create a new world from scratch, not with Scratch, but from scratch. And one of the nice things about Minecraft is that it's a sandbox game, in that it's like a framework, but what you do in the game is very much up to you. And so it's wonderfully open-ended for teachers and kids to do all kinds of things. So coding is only one of the things that you can do with Minecraft. And at the end, I'll maybe share something that is kind of a broader collection of Minecraft-related things that I did with my grade 3 and grade 4 students, completely separate and distinct from coding. There's also an option to have your class come together into the same world. And I tell you, the first day I had my 25 kids, all get together in the same world and they're all running around in these little individual bodies was one of the happiest days of my life as a teacher, because I knew the power of playing with other people online, and I knew the kids would just be overjoyed with that experience to be able to do that in their classroom. So what I've just done is created a new world, and I've created what's called a flat world. And this is one of the types of world types that's very useful if you're having students build things to demonstrate their learning. It's flat. There are no villages. There are some animals, but we could go and we could turn the animals off. So here we'll just take a look at some of the settings. We're in creative mode, which means we have unlimited anything. It's like unlimited Lego blocks. Peaceful, which means there aren't going to be any monsters that come around and try and do any nasty things to us. Coordinates can be important in Minecraft. Every block has its own X, Y, and Z coordinate. So if you want to do math related to coordinates, you can turn that on. There's a button here in Education Edition for Codebuilder. We want that on. I've toggled this so that it's always day. There is day and night in Minecraft, but sometimes we don't want night. We just want to focus on our building time. Perfect weather is nice. I'm going to turn off the mobs or the animals, turn off destructive items, not going to allow player damage. I'm not going to let the players battle one another because that's not what we're about today. And so those kinds of adjustments exist in the settings. And so now if I come back to the game, you can see I can run around in the world, but there's nobody here. It's just me. Now movement is controlled either with your controller or in most cases with a keyboard and a mouse. And so if you're familiar, a lot of games use the W, S, A, and D keys for forwards, backwards, left, and right. Some games use the arrow keys. You can configure in here if you want to use the arrow keys to move around. But W, A, S, and D is the normal forward, backward, left, and right. You steer left to right using the mouse. The space bar lets you fly if you double tap. And if you double tap again, you stop flying. And if you are flying, holding down the space bar makes you go up, and holding down the shift key makes you go down. The link for Minecraft Education Edition in the Google Play Store, I don't have it handy, but I will get that link and make it available to everyone at the end of the session. So I can move around, but there's no hour of code here in this empty world. So we're going to go back out now that we can move around. Exit. And to get to the hour of code, we go into View Library and go to Lessons. So there are different biomes, rainforests, deserts, water, aqua, underground, underwater kingdoms, and so on. This is like a coral reef. So there are all kinds of ecology and science things that you can do with Minecraft. But in Lessons, if we go to Computer Science and Hour of Code, then you can see that there are 3 hour of code activities. And the one on inclusion from 2020 is the one that we took a little bit of a look at. So I select that one. Create World is going to download that world into my computer so that it will be in one of my own personal library. And then I can change that world, save it on my computer, and it's separate from anyone else's. So this is how the game begins. I'm kind of locked in here. But you can see there is a question mark above this book. One of the things that kids can do in Minecraft is actually write text into books. So if I click on this, it tells me we've got these 2 villages. They're not getting along. We'd like to do some things to help them understand one another. We want to teach them how to include one another. So it gives us some instructions. There is this Immersive Reader option here for students who need support with the reading.
The villagers could no longer seem to grow enough crops, and the illagers found their fish supply dwindling.
Now, I'm hearing that in my earbuds. I don't know if you were hearing that at your end, but it reads the text so that you can have that support. And once we've finished the basic instructions, the book disappears and we look around and there's this caretaker. He's got a question mark. So this is an example of an NPC, non-player character. So there's nobody running this character. This is what I look like in the game. I can change my point of view. And so if I use my forwards and backwards, oops. But normally we're in first person view. So we're looking at whatever we're acting on. So if I right click on him, I can have a little conversation with him. And he essentially says, do you want to do your coding with blocks or with Python? Semicolons are a terrible thing at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Years ago at university, debugging my computer programs, a single semicolon, you'd do your program, you'd push submit, it would go off to the mainframe, it would come back, the output came out in a big printer, and you would get your output on paper. Nothing happened on the screen. And if there was an error on this huge long ream of paper, you had to find it. And quite frequently, it would be a missing semicolon. Blocks are one of the best advances since sliced bread to help kids learn to code because they can't make spelling mistakes with block-based coding. There is a place for text-based coding, but I'm a very strong proponent for block-based coding for kids because spelling can sometimes be an issue for younger kids. And the last thing you want to do is have problems spelling words when you really want to get your program to work. So we're going to choose blocks. And now what we need to do is press C to open up the code builder. So here in the kind of tutorial-based hour of code lesson format, we do not have many blocks over here to work with. We have 2 blocks. We have an onStart block and we have an agent move forward block. And the instructions, because I've done this before, tell us that we need to move the agent forward so that he winds up on the gold, and that is move forward by 4 spaces. So onStart, move forward by 4 spaces, play, and he moves forward. Caretaker says, yep, that's what you needed to do. So I move on, and now the agent is going to give me something for my work. Now, in real Minecraft, if you right click on the agent, you can see what he has in his inventory. If I press the letter E, we can see that I have nothing in my inventory, but in creative mode, oh, not in this tutorial. Normally in creative mode, there would be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things that I could pick and choose from. But the agent doesn't have anything in his inventory. That's how I would normally get something from an agent. But in this instance, they've created a special block. So if I go into the code builder, there's this accept gift block, which doesn't really exist in MakeCode for Minecraft, but it exists in this tutorial. So onStart, accept the gift. And now if I check my inventory, I have a sapling. Now, I'm conscious that there might be a number of things that I'm aware of that some of you may not be aware of. If I go into my settings, I have hidden the heads up display. I'm not going to hide it. So there, I'm going to make it visible. And so now you can see down at the bottom of my screen, there are some hearts and there are some chicken bones, and there's also a tree. Maybe I will make that 100% opaque because then I know it's there, but if you don't know that it's there, you might not notice it. So down across the bottom of my screen, I have 9 slots where I can store things. And the number keys 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 let me choose which slot I want to work from. And I've also hidden my hand, so I'm going to show my hand as well. I was doing some screen captures earlier and I didn't want my hand visible. So over in my right hand, I'm now holding the tree. Now I'm not holding the tree, so you can just see the end of my hand. If I right click with the tree, I plant the tree, and I've completed this part of the tutorial. And now the gates will open and I can move on. So if we jump back to our slideshow. Okay. Did you get my slideshow? I'm screen sharing. So if you can see on start accept gift, that's what we should be seeing. And the previous program that we wrote was on start agent move forward by 4. Now those are both very, very, very simple programs. You basically click the play button and one thing happens. If we move out into the village, then we will have some challenges that we need to do. And so let's just go try a couple of those. And maybe I could have 1 or 2 people turn on their mics once we've seen the challenge, and you might suggest what we might need to do to solve it. So we'll go back to our computer game. And I am going to go this way. And I'm going to look for a particular activity. So over here, this guy wants us to plant his garden for us. So we're not going to do that one. We're going to go this way. And this person down here wants us to put a fence around their garden. We'll maybe leave that one for another time. This guy. Okay. So I'll just explain this so that we don't have to read the instructions. But back in here is this monster kind of elephant. It's called a ravager. But in this lesson, what we're supposed to do is take this monster around and have it make friends with the other villagers that are around here. So what's going to happen is the ravager is going to come out here, and we're going to need to get our agent to basically walk or guide the ravager from here over to these people, and then over to these people, and then over here to this person. So if you've ever used any kind of coding language to do a square, this is kind of like the 3 sides of a square. Although we might want to check out the distances a little bit more. Okay, would someone like to unmute their mic and give us a suggestion as how they would approach this?
I think it'd be great to put the turn you have to make and the steps you have to take, like how far you have to go, into a loop, so that, and then instruct it to do it 4 times. Okay, so the ravager needs to go from here. We need to connect up the people with the question marks. And I'm moving my screen very quickly. So there's one there. There's one over here. There's one over here. And this is the endpoint here. So you're actually doing a little bit more than we need to do. So if we bring out the code builder, press the letter C. Uh-oh, something's happened. Where are the, this is not right. Don't tell me I can't do them in my own order. I have to do it in their order. Okay, well, it may be that we're not allowed to do this one. This is one of the easiest ones. That's why I wanted to do it first. But let's go over here to the doc, because I know the doc works. All right. Basically, we need to build a dock. The dock needs to be 6 blocks long and 4 blocks wide. Start activity.
Okay, so here's our agent standing right here on the wharf. And what we need to do is build a block, a dock that's 6 blocks long and 4 blocks wide. So I'm going to show what are our options. There we go. So this is what we have to work with. Move and place wood 1 time. Agent move forward by 1. Agent turn left. Notice there are no loops here. Wouldn't loops make life easier for us? But could someone give this one a go? I'm going to get you started by saying move and place wood. What that will have the agent do is move out and place a block of wood right here. He can float in the air, believe it or not. So we're going to have him do that 6 times. Let's just run this program and see what happens. Okay, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so he's gone out 6. What would we want him to do next? If this were you, where would you go next?
I would turn right.
Turn right, okay. And then?
I would make, I'm making a dock, or I would
a dock, yeah. So it's gone out 6 and it needs to be 4 wide when we're done.
It needs to be 4 wide. So I would go out, then I would turn right and then come back in 6, then turn left and go out 6, and then turn right and come back in 6. So I would do the go out 6, turn right 6, and come back 6, then turn left. And I would put, I don't know, maybe put part of that in a loop. I can't visualize stuff like that. But.
So you're thinking loop because loop makes life easy, but this tutorial for this activity doesn't give us any loops.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so we'll talk about that in a minute. So we're going to go out 6 times, then we're going to turn left, actually turn right, right? That's what you said. I always turn left here. Turn right, then we can have them move forward by 1, and then have them, but that's going to be problematic. The way, okay. We will talk about this in a minute. Let me just help. We're going to move and place wood 1 time. Then we're going to turn right again. Switch this to right. And so now if we go back and reset.
Right and turn right. Oh, you have to turn right twice. Sorry.
You have to turn right. So you're going to go out, turn right, move forward, turn right.
Yeah.
And so now if we run this, goes out, turn right, move ahead and place a block, turn right again. How many do they need to do coming back now?
5.
5. Okay, so, and this, see, this is where the way I would normally do this, if I had all of the blocks, is probably not the same as the way they're asking us to do it. So now we're going to move and place wood 5 times. Okay, let's just run that and see where that gets us. Okay, now what do we need to do?
Turn right, move 1 forward, place it, or no, turn left.
Yep, turn left.
And then
move
1 forward, place it, turn left, and then you're going to place 5.
Excellent. So one thing we'll talk about in a minute is doing things in sequence and doing things concurrently. Sequence is grade 1, concurrently is grade 2. And so this move and place does 2 things at once. And because we don't have place by itself, the only way we can place is if we place while we're moving. So we're going to turn left this time. We're going to move and place 1. Then we're going to turn left again. Then we're going to move and place 5. And that will get us down. And then it's basically going to be the same as before. We're going to turn right. Then we're going to move and place 1. We're going to turn right again. And then we're going to move and place 5. And that should bring us back and give us 4 by 6. Now, my apologies for taking away this learning opportunity for you. I'm not going to do this for all of them so that you can try this out on your own. Let's reset. And run. There, and now we've built the dock, and these guys move out onto the dock. Equity is not about giving everyone the same thing, it's about making sure everyone has what they need. And so these guys, the fishermen, needed a dock. And so if we zoom back to the tree now, we can see that the little sapling has grown a little bit because we have completed one of the challenges. So that's kind of a quick introduction to this Hour of Code tutorial. Let's just jump back to the slides and we'll take a quick look at the other challenges in this particular Hour of Code. And then we'll talk about math, because we probably need to connect these things to math curriculum. So plant the sapling we did. Teach farming is similar. Till and move forward. So you're going to basically use your hoe on the soil and move forward. So instead of building a dock, you're taking the grass and turning it into farmland. And in this case, it's 10 long and it's 2 wide. And again, because of where you start and the fact that they want you to till and move at the same time, it's not kind of till, move, till, move, till, move, do that 10 times, turn around and come back. And they also don't give you loops to do this one. If we take a look at this one, you kind of need to work your way up 2 sides of an elevator and toggle these switches. And again, if you look at it, there are no loops. It's basically do these things in a certain sequence. So this is a fairly elementary program. The kids just need to figure out what they need to do and in what order. Now, this one has loops. This is one where you need to build a railway and the land is not even. So you need to go along and then go down and then go along and then go down and go along and then go down. And so because you have to go along a certain number of times and you need to go down a certain number of times, this one actually has loops, which are actually nested. And then here's another one that's just sequence. That's the dock. And this is move the Ravager around, the one that it wouldn't let us do. So it's not quite a square, but as Marjit said, you basically go, turn left, go again, turn left, go, and turn left again. And here's another one with double loops when you're building a fence around the beets. So quick show of hands if you have seen this chart. These are the 2 sets of coding expectations from the algebra strand in grades 1 to 8. Do these look familiar to people? So there are a lot of words there. What I've done is looked at them carefully to see what's different as you go from grade to grade. And here's what's different as you go from grade to grade. If you're familiar with these, then you've probably noticed this. Grade 1 talks about sequential. So basically doing things in an order. Grade 2 adds this idea of concurrent. We're going to do a couple things at the same time. So in sequence, but also concurrently. Grade 3 introduces the idea of repeating or loops. Grade 4 introduces nested loops. And then for grade 5, you get conditionals like if or when, those kinds of things. Grade 6, can we make our code more efficient? And so you could write a program that has a big long string, but can you recognize that it's easier to do it with loops and how to do it with loops to make your program more efficient? And then when you get into grade 7, we're doing things like for loops. So for I equals 1 to 7, so you want to do something 7 times, but you also want to maybe do something different the first time, the second time, the third time. And the idea of breaking your program up into pieces, so each little piece is its own little thing. And then grade 8, can you use your code to analyze some data? So when I looked at those, I see that there's essentially one extra thing being added each year. And if we take a look at those 6 activities that are in the Tale of Two Villages, I've done a little analysis. Teach farming, you start, you till and move forward, that's concurrent. You turn right, you do things in a sequence. So teach farming, sequential and concurrent, is like grade 1, grade 2. Get the ball is just sequential. Now, it might be a little tricky for kids to figure that out, but when we get to the motor railway, that one has the nested loops. So within this 1 hour of code activity, you have a range of projects that address expectations for kids from grade 1 to 4. So does that mean a kid who's in grade 1 will struggle with doing this activity? Would anyone like to chime in on that? And I'm generalizing by saying a kid in grade 1, but
well, I think it's a great activity. You know, kids play hopscotch. We teach them to play basketball. We put tape on the floor so that they can do little routines in the gym for gross motor. And I think it's I think they'd be able to manage that. You know, there was a really cool thing when the iPads were coming out and apps were just being made where you could move a little robot around a bedroom and you had to avoid all these stuffies. And my son was doing that before he went to school, you know, so.
And so the kind of the sequencing of the skills in the Ontario curriculum, I wouldn't want to say my grade 3 kids, you're not allowed to do nested loops until you get to grade 4, right? All we get to do extra in grade 3 are loops. And by the way, if you're in grade 2 and you need to use a loop because you know how to do that, you're not allowed to. So depending upon a kid's experience, they may come into grade 3 and they've already done nested loops and they've done repeating, or they may have come in and they haven't done any of them. But this particular activity could let them get at that range of the different skills sort of within a fairly short order. So one of the issues that I know the secondary schools might be starting to think about is that they have computer science courses at secondary school. But it's only now that coding is officially in the Ontario elementary curriculum, although a lot of teachers have been doing coding for many, many years. But the skills that kids will start arriving with in grades moving forward will be different as the result of this than in the past. And so I don't know how long it might be before this might need to be updated. But I wanted to share with you, because I'm conscious we're going to run out of time. I've taken those 6 projects from the hour of code lesson where you're restricted to, you can only do this activity using the blocks that you're given. I've put this into a world that just gives you the bare bones of those 6 challenges, but it lets you answer them with the full collection of blocks that are available in MakeCode. And my thinking behind this is that if you have a student who says, well, I really do this with a loop, right? I know how to use loops. I'd like to be able to demonstrate that I can solve this problem with a loop. Then you could have them come in here and try and do the same challenge in a slightly easier way. And then alternatively, you could take any one of these challenges, if let's say you're teaching grade 5 or grade 6 or grade 7 or grade 8, and look at how can you extend the basic activity with some of the new skills that maybe the kids haven't addressed yet when they arrive with you. So one of the, I don't want to say it's a bugaboo, but one of the things that I like to see in Minecraft is as much open-ended opportunity for the kids and for the teachers as possible. And so with the tutorial file where it's kind of all lockstep and you get the answer, but you know, there really isn't a lot of flexibility. There are times when I see that it's almost like a digital worksheet, right? Because you're kind of working your way through something that's very carefully designed to get you from A to B. And one of the most wonderful features of Minecraft is that it can be so open-ended. I have this as a file that's available for you to download, and I will have all the links available for you later. But in case you want to get it now, I'll put it in the chat. And so when you download this file, you'll find that it's a zip file. And if you unzip it, then inside you will find, it's called 2villagesactivities.mcworld. So the extension for a Minecraft world is .mcworld. And then the other thing, there's a link here for the actual codes. So when I was in the tutorial and creating the little code blocks, you can actually share the results of your coding. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. Share them online so that if you need to move your coding from one computer to another, let's say you're at home and you want to share it with yourself at school, you can just send yourself a link or put a link in your Google Workspace or something like that. Sharing files with Minecraft is a little bit tricky if you try and do them any way other than just sending yourself a link. So in this world file that I'll show you now, I've created some scripts that basically set the agent up at the right spot. This is where he would be if you were doing this in the other world, so that you can essentially use the same starting point and try and achieve the same project, but you can use the full range of the command. So let me just quickly show you what that looks like. I'll go back again to my Minecraft world. And so if this were you, as it will be you, I'm finished this, exit lesson. I can get my certificate, put it up on my wall. Once you've downloaded this world file and you have your Minecraft open, you use this import button down here to import, just like in the olden days when you were opening a WordPerfect document or a Word document from a floppy drive, or I'm dating myself, but we import the file. And in this case, the file is on my computer. I need to go find it. In your case, you will have downloaded, here's the 2villagesactivities.mcworld zip. You'll unzip that, and then you'll have 2villagesactivities.mcworld. Open that. It imports the world. And now the world is here in your world library. 2villageactivities. All right, now here's my agent. And I've created an NPC here, friendly helper. If you right click on him, he says, hello, this world provides the same challenges as offered in the Hour of Code, the Tale of Two Villages, but it allows you to explore or extend the challenges using the full and actual set of block commands. Remember I said there's no actual accept gift? That was something they just created for the tutorial. And the till and move forward is not the same thing as you'd find here. That make code script is, this clicking on this will take you to a web browser where you can actually see the scripts that I'm going to show you. But if I go into the code builder, choose my editor, the make code, and what I need now is to copy that link either from the window that opened when you clicked on the button, or in my case, I'm going to import. So I'm importing two things. I'm importing the world, and then I'm importing the code. The world goes into Minecraft, the code comes into Codebuilder. Now, this is important. Every time I create a new coding project in Minecraft with the agent, I create these three blocks. They're called chat commands. If I type come here in the chat, then it has this block from the agent teleport to player. So if I just go back out and run over here, if I press the letter T for text and type in come here, you'll notice I've put the two words together with a capital letter on the H. Then my agent comes to where I am. Run over here and press the letter T and then the up arrow to get the one that I typed in just before. So these are actual commands that I've created using MakeCode. If I go into MakeCode, I'll show you how I could do that. I could create a new command on chat command when I say hi. So when I type in say hi, then I'm going to use this, say smiley face, and this smiley face will be pasted into the chat. So if I go back out, please let me know if this is too quick. So I'm going to type in say hi. And you look up here in the upper left corner, I said say hi, and the computer said back to me smiley face. So there are native chat commands in Minecraft, like set time midnight. Oh, maybe that's not it. There's type ahead, set time night. I don't have, okay. Oh, maybe it's time set. Yeah, time set noon, time set midnight. There are different versions of Minecraft, and different versions of Minecraft have slightly different variations on their chat commands. So you can change the time, and that's a native feature. We can do time set noon, and then the sun is directly overhead. We can do weather thunder. And so these are things that exist natively in Minecraft, but with the code builder, you can build your own collections of things and tell the agent to do them by giving him a chat command. So if I do sun, that's going to stop the rain. Maybe I need to do weather. Weather clear. Okay. That's the garden. Here's the dock. Build a 4x6 dock. So this is where the agent started when we built the 4x6 dock in the tutorial. And if I go into the code builder, you can see I've created a command here called dock start. And what that's going to do is move the agent right to the starting spot if I type in dock start. So they're going to teleport to 52, 4, 12, which are the coordinates of this block that I've placed right here. You see, if I'm standing here, my position is 52, 4, 12 in the upper left corner. So if I do, what was it? Start doc. Nope. Doc start. I got the answers here in my instructions. Doc start. Okay, so that moves the agent to this point, and he should be facing this way. Yes, he is. Now, if we wanted to solve this problem using a loop instead, we've got all of the blocks available in MakeCode over here. So here are loops. Forever, repeat 4 times. You've got while. So this is where you get up into conditional statements for grades 5 and grade 6. For an index, this is grade 7. We've got logic. So conditionals, if then else. These are things that kids get into, I think, grade 6. So MakeCode has all of these things here. And so you could have an older student come up with a completely different way to build a 4x6 doc here, not using just a sequence of, go forward, place, turn around, come back, turn around, but do something completely different. You could say, well, keep going until you're 6 blocks away from where you started, right? You could approach it with a completely different set of controls. So that's the idea behind this world, is that it gives you an opportunity to take those activities, explore them with the full range of blocks available in MakeCode, and extend those activities. Oh, we're running out of time. I see we still have 25 participants, so that's a good sign, unless people have just gone for dinner. I was going to leave time for questions. Okay. Not just the learning, but the success. When you code, you are only right once. The rest of the time you are wrong. Then when you are right, you want something harder right away. Yes. It's only 4:15 in Northwestern Ontario, so we have another hour and 15 minutes. Yes, the recording will be on the OTF website. Yep, I can see Michelle is nodding his head there. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, we're not even halfway. So that was one of my questions. If people would like more, would people be interested in kind of an ad hoc get together Tuesday night thing? Years ago with gaming EDUs, we used to do Tuesday night play and learn, where people could come online and we could answer questions and do stuff like that. And I would be more than willing to do that, continue to do that again. The links we will be sharing, Paul says, count me in. If you are in Ottawa Catholic District School Board, they've just started a Minecraft group. They had one meeting a couple weeks ago, and they had their second meeting last night. I missed it. So if you're in the Ottawa area, there's a group that's just started up there. We have 10 minutes if we stop at 5:30. And I don't know whether the Zoom gremlins will just kind of cancel the phone line right at 5:30. Michelle could let us know if that's going to happen. Would people like to answer some questions? Have me answer some questions for the next couple of minutes?
I'm just going to jump in for a quick second as well, just to
Sure.
let everybody know that everybody will receive an email tomorrow sent by my colleague Jason, and there will be a link. There will be a link to the recording. It will be posted on the OTF YouTube channel, and Andy is going to send me his slides and all the links that he has shared with you guys today, and we will post all of that on the OTF website, and all of that will be in the email tomorrow. So you don't have to worry, you will receive the email, and then from the email you can access the recording, the slides, and the links and the resources
Links to
that have been
download the files. Yep. So where we could go, but we don't have time, but you will be able to do this. In that library of world files and activities within MakeCode, there's a whole bunch of tutorials and activities that are similar to what we've looked at. And I've chosen 5 here: building a tower, building a checkerboard, building a pyramid. There's this fun game that kids love to play in Minecraft called Spleef, where you basically have a bunch of blocks of snow. You and your opponent stand on the blocks of snow, and you each have a shovel, and you run around and you try and break the blocks of snow out from underneath your opponent before they break the blocks out from underneath you. What the code here does is just basically builds you a new set of snow blocks to play on. And you break the blocks, and then you just reset the game and go on. These links over here take you to the code. And what I would invite you to do is look at the code the way we've looked at some of these this evening and say, gee, this just has a series of things in sequence. Kids in grade 1 or grade 2 could do this. Or, oh, this one's got an if statement. So, that's maybe grade 5 or grade 6, unless the kid has progressed to the point where they're doing nested loops and they're ready for the next thing. So there's a document here called Gumby Practice. When you click on that link, you'll get a Google Doc where you could make your notes in here as to what skills you see being used. And you could say, oh, I think this one's a grade 3 or grade 4. And I will have a filled out version of this that I'll maybe hold off on for a couple days so that I don't take that learning experience away from you. But there's a lot of Minecraft stuff out there. The thing is, can you kind of decide what's going to work for which kids? That's the idea I wanted to get at. And we were going to, what are the key skills that it practices? What grades would be appropriate? How could you extend it for someone who's ready to go further? So there's a lot of things there. These are the examples, the code blocks for those examples when you get in and look at them. And so you can see there's some that have some things. This is actually one long block. I had to break it to fit it on the screen. Oh, we didn't get to this. This is one of the most successful things I did with my kids. Kids love pixel art. And we did this, the first week of school, they chose a favorite cartoon character. So you've got Patrick, Pikachu, Greg, and the kids, this is grade 3. So they wrote a paragraph about their characters. This is a language arts activity, and they colored it in. It was an art activity. So that was good. But we come back to this in February when it's time for us to do math coordinate grids. And we pixelate these by putting some graph paper over the colored picture, put it up to the window, and they kind of have to decide, is this block black or is it pink or whatever? And then we put an X and Y axis on it so that each block has a coordinate. And then they come into Minecraft and they build these. And so it's kind of an activity that as we learn more about Minecraft through the year and we learn more about different subjects through the year, we move on. So I've got a whole world that you can download that is basically the starter world for building pixel art. And so I'll also share that with you. And then there's a bunch of other links and things, but I think, yeah, this is building a Gumby head, which is just an 8x8 Minecraft face. But this is an example where it's kind of been broken up into a whole bunch of little pieces. And so it's instead of just having a whole sequence, you want to think about, can I break this up into little pieces? I can do one piece at a time. Take the big problem, break it up into smaller pieces. Okay, I'm going to stop there and then see if there are any questions. And I will say, if you would like to connect outside of this particular context and do some Minecraft, I will throw out Tuesday evenings because that's what we always used to do, but it's entirely up to you. This is my email. I'll use my Gmail. It's easy to remember. So if there's anyone who wants to connect, kind of have a question and answer session about some of this stuff, if you have some ideas of something you'd like to do with your students and you'd like an extra pair of hands, especially if you're online. I'd be more than happy to help out with that as well. Michelle, I think I will turn it back to you though, in case you have anything you need to say right at the end. And thank you, everybody.
Yes, I'm just going to jump back in for like a couple of minutes. Thanks for running the show, Andy. I had a bit of I needed to multitask a little bit because I had a bit of a problem with a plumbing problem. It reminds me of the joke of Woody Allen that says, there is no God, but I can never find a plumber on a Sunday. You know, anyway, that was his joke. So I will I will just conclude very briefly. Thanks so much, Andy. Thanks for being so generous, providing such great presentation for OTF, and also sharing your email and inviting people to join you on Tuesday night. That's really, really great. And I will recommend to OTF to have a few more of these coding sessions when we start the season again in October. I have shared a few links with you guys. I'm going to put them back in the chat box again. I'm going to share quickly my screen, if you don't mind. I'm going to share quickly my screen with you. You will receive tomorrow an email, a follow-up email. Everything will be included in that email, including a small evaluation form that we will ask you to fill up for us. And what did I do? Did I do something wrong here? I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. My screen is not showing anymore. Let's try again one more time. Yeah, I did something wrong, but anyway. So I just want to let you all know that this is the last webinar of the school year. We don't do webinars in June and in September, so we're going to start again in October. But OTF is organizing a dozen of Summer Institute in August, and Andy is going to participate, and I think that's what I heard, and I'm going to be involved as well to moderate them. And so I just want to thank you all for joining us today. I want to thank Andy again for this fantastic presentation. I wish you all a really, really good summer already, because I won't see you until maybe August or October. And I hope that you will join us in August. So go to the OTF website, and then from the OTF website, you can register yourself for the Summer Institute. So that's it. I just want to wish you all a very good evening. Thank you, Andy. Huh?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Have a good summer.
Exactly.
It's coming.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Not tomorrow, I've heard. But anyway, thanks so much. I'm going to end the meeting, and I'll see you all hopefully in August or next season. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Andy.
Michelle.